Hey girl, welcome to Bumble and Bloom Tea Time with Mommy and Me. My name is B. I'm the co-founder of Bumble and Bloom. This is my gorgeous mom, Julia, all the way from Georgia.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
So happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We're gonna get into a conversation centered around Mother's Month, centered around Mental Health Month. So much to talk about, Mom. Let's get to it. Okay. Okay, Mommy, so let's start at the beginning.
Ooh.
What was your experience like of motherhood from a daughter's perspective and from a mother's perspective?
From a daughter's perspective.
Little Julia, what did she think about motherhood?
Well, I'll start here. So watching my mother, she had a lot of good qualities about her. She helped me to be, she was very orderly, so she always had the house in order. So I got that from her.
Mama house stay clean. I went to Georgia last week. Child, ain't a thing out of place. I'm like, when she gets back to my house, she's going to like be so uncomfortable.
No,
but like
not.
you have always been so intentional about order, about structure, about our lifestyle. So I would assume that you got that from Granny.
Absolutely.
And you definitely instilled that in all three of us for sure.
Absolutely.
So
I cannot function without order. I don't function well with chaos. I don't. I watched my mother. She always had the house clean. She always had our clothes laid out, the night before. She had the food on the table at by 6 o'clock or whatever. I love structure in my life. And I try to instill that in my children.
yeah.
Because I actually, can I even say that
Yeah.
I have a professional organizing business.
Not plug, shameless plug.
Not to plug it in,
I know
but
that's right.
it's who I am.
Yeah.
I like order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
so I got that from my mom, just watching her keep the house in order and our life in order. No matter what was going on around her, she still made sure that the house was in order, that, we got ready for school in advance, and, we had food on the table, and, she did the best she could as a mom.
Yeah.
As a single mom.
Yeah, she definitely did. And she was a young mom. I found out recently that Grammy was a young mom. I didn't know that she was so young. She was, my Auntie June, she was 20 when she had her, which I was 19 when I had Bailey. Well, I was turning 20, but I was pregnant at 19. Mm-hmm. And so even that pattern, I was like, wow, like to think about Grammy's perspective as a young mom, still keeping the house together, still doing the best she could and what she knew even at such a young age,
Mm-hmm.
I think was very impactful. And it's still, trickling generations down. On the flip side, we have other challenges from just how she operated, which was based on how her mother operated, of just this separation. We have a huge gap and challenge when it comes to division in our households with mother and daughter. So our family is like the cut off queens, all of us. Any woman in my family will cut you off for something serious. Like there are women in our family, and I won't say who they are, they didn't even go to their own mother's funeral because they were that cut off, like deep, very deep trauma. And so although we got, some of these positive things, we also saw people just writing family off. Family wasn't
Absolutely
brought together. It wasn't a place where, we knew at the end of the day we have to come together. It was like, oh no, what I know is we're done, And so I think we took on that mindset, your generation with you and your sisters, my generation, with me and my siblings. And so I think like when it got to Bailey and Aubrey and I would see some of the same tendencies and some of that same division, I was like, oh no, we gotta lock in. We gotta like do this work because it's going to repeat again. And I would hate to see this repeat another generation. So what are some things that you felt like has kind of freed you from these cycles that have existed in our family?
The first one It's having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My faith is 110%. And I try to instill that in my children. In all things, have faith in God.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I've always taught my children, what I teach y'all, God is your best friend.
Yeah.
Because he would never let you down. It's good to have good friends, close friends, but God should be your best friend. Having a relationship with God, of course, and then getting the therapy that I needed from a Christian therapist.
Yeah, right. So she definitely had to align with your beliefs, and so
exactly.
you felt comfortable enough to trust her judgment and trust the direction that she was guiding your healing, right? Because that's the thing with therapy, you have to trust the work. With God, you have to surrender and trust God to do it.
Absolutely.
So we hold on to these things thinking that we're in control, thinking we got it figured out. I was telling my mom earlier, a lot of times we hold on to these things because we feel like if we release it and let it go, whether it's to therapy or to God, both, we feel like that makes it okay. Like I held on so tight to anger and bitterness and resentment for years. Freedom that you get from releasing what you've been through, your trauma, your experiences, that freedom is for you. It's not for you're not teaching them anything. They're living their life most times. Exactly. So you are the one carrying all of this baggage and heaviness and going into these, other situations that you're in, encounters with relationships and with your children. You're the one carrying all of that when you could show up free. You could show up, released of this. So you have to be ready to actually surrender it. And I think for a long time, I wasn't ready to let it go. Like I saw Grammy hold on to stuff for years. To this day, my Grammy is 87. She up there.
She just turned 87.
87. She will still recall pain and go right back to that moment as if it was the 20s, the 50s, whatever year it was. And you hear the brokenness and the pain as if she is actually living it when she's sharing it to you. And you see just her go back. And so that is the trauma of just holding it, and I just imagine how heavy and tight, she must feel carrying this in every season up until her 80s of her life, these things that happened to her. So I think being ready to, release it, feeling safe enough to release it. We have to, as women, as mothers, as daughters, we have to really be committed to doing the work, doing the hard, ugly, deep work of restoring and healing our relationships so that we can be light. I want to be light. I actually want to be light.
And we can be an example too for other people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people feel like they it's impossible.
Yeah.
They just have accepted the fact that, okay, I don't have no sister, I don't have no brother, I don't have no mother, I don't have a father.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
God designed family.
Yeah, for a reason.
He, even knowing that we were going to go through some things, but there has to be enough love there for your family to want to, do the work to get through it. So a lot of people, like Britt was saying, is cut the family off, but then they go to their friends and treat them better than they treat their family.
Yeah.
They get invited to the grandchildren or the nieces and nephews events, graduation, and different things going on. They don't attend, but they'll attend their friend's event.
So a lot of it is avoidance because this work is hard and it's easier to cut someone off than to actually try to repair it. But I feel like you have made such a great example with that, with your mother, because although my Grammy is not in a place where she's ready or willing to do the work, I feel like I admire the fact that you still meet her where she is and you still try and show up the best that you can, to pour into that relationship. So I guess, what is that like? Like, how have you navigated just trying to pursue a relationship with someone who has hurt you, broke your heart in different seasons? How do you navigate still trying to pour into that relationship, even though it feels like it's nothing left there?
It's my love for the Lord.
Yeah.
And, I play in my head over and over again, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
Anybody knows I have total forgiveness in my heart for everybody. No matter what you do, I forgive, like Jesus forgave me.
Yeah.
Right? What happened yesterday is gone. Today's a new day.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges. I let all that go. I give all of that to God, seriously, and keep moving. And just because of the desire I have for family, I'll keep trying and keep trying. Even if you're not answering my phone calls, even if you're not calling me, I still reach out. I still do it. I go through these different times in my life when, especially like during holiday time, Thanksgiving time and Christmas time. Everybody wants to be with family, but it's a lot of sad people during that time because they lost a lot of people, whatnot, or they just not in a relationship with the people in their family. So it's a hurtful time. And so, especially during those times, I reach out. I try to reach out to my sisters, my mother, everybody that, whether I want to be, I want to be in a relationship with them, but if they don't want to be in a relationship with me, I still reach out to them. I'm that person will sit down and write out 30 Christmas cards. I send out 30 Christmas cards every year to my family and all my friends.
Yeah.
Every year.
And let's pause there, because that Christmas card that she sent, I don't know if you remember the year, but we had kind of stopped talking when I came to Georgia, and we hadn't talked in a while. And the Holy Spirit was nudging me, start praying, pray for her. Reach out to her. And I was just like, just resisting it. And you sent that Christmas card, and I remember opening it up, seeing your handwriting, first of all, because I hadn't talked to her in months. So seeing my mother's handwriting on an envelope, and then opening up this card, and it didn't say, it was just her standard card that was so beautiful, just a normal card. But at the bottom, it said, love and miss you, mama. And I read it, and I just felt this yearn. That's the thing too, as daughters, we yearn for our mom, regardless of what relationship we've had, experience we've had. We are your daughter. I'm your daughter. And so I remember being like, oh, my mommy, dang, I haven't talked to her. I hope she's okay. But I was still holding on, to that, anger. And so I kind of tossed the card on my nightstand. And I went, day and day, through the week. And I remember I kept looking, I found myself kept going back to that card. I would look over and I'd just be like, no. And then I go about, and then I come home again and see that card. And I didn't have it propped up. It was literally just tossed on the table. So I would see it and I'd be like, no. And then I open it again and I throw it. And so I feel like the Holy Spirit used that card that year to really be like an olive branch, to be like, this is open for you. This is available for you. His healing, his restoration, even if we're not ready, is available. And so I remember that was literally the card that made me call you that day and was just like, hey, because it was that heavy on my heart. So thank God for your consistency with that, with showing up even when you're not getting it in return. So you're consistent about showing up the best that you can, even when it's not reciprocated. And I think that takes so much strength. I think that takes just so much courage and confidence in who you are and who God created you to be, because it's so easy for us to just be like, well, no, she gonna think I'm weak, or she gonna think, and it's it's not about that. It's about who we are in Christ. It's about who we are called to be, regardless of what's around us and who's around us. So I think I love that example that you shared, because it just made me think dang, that Christmas card, that's.
I think it's about timing. The previous cards you weren't ready.
Yeah.
You weren't there yet.
Yeah.
And so it was what you needed in that season of your life.
Yeah.
So it made it easier.
Yeah. And I'd also been doing a lot of work on my own. I was also, going to a therapist every week at that point, my own session. So I was doing internal work that I needed to do just as a woman. And so it opened that door for, just a little bit of like possibility, a little bit of transformation. And that's the thing I love about God. All you need is a little bit. You know, you're a little bit, he will multiply and change your life off of just a little that you offer him.
That's right.
And so I think it left the door open or cracked a little bit and just allowed what we have now, which is so incredible. It is so incredible, y'all, because I remember the last time going in Georgia being like, that's it, we're done, we're not speaking. And when I came back to your house just over this past weekend, I pulled up and I'm like, my mommy's home, like her home, like seeing all her little stuff, because she got so much stuff, y'all. Her house is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And she has all these little like trinket, every space and corner has something, okay, a picture of this, of that. And so just watching how intentional she is about just making a space so homey and so warm and inviting.
Thank you.
It was just, it was what I needed. It was what I needed. I know you had been here before. So last year you came here 3 times, which I was so grateful for. But that was my first time back in Georgia.
Right.
So it was very refreshing and very restorative.
I think it has a lot to do with, it has everything to do with forgiveness. Once you can forgive, you're not holding on to anything, you're free and you can just be yourself.
Yeah.
A friend once told me, never let anyone steal your joy.
Yeah.
And I kind of live my life by that. So I'm going to be who I am. Whether you have an attitude, you got bitterness towards me, whatever you have going towards me, that doesn't change how I feel about you today. I'm still gonna treat you the way I normally would treat you. So you got to be able to let stuff go. Because if I didn't let it go and hold a grudge, we wouldn't get anywhere. Somebody got to be the bigger person in that moment. Somebody got to show the other person, we can do this, and this is how, kind of thing. So I think that's where the overall success in our family came from, is trying to display forgiveness and, teach forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that happened, how long ago? That was a year ago. Life goes on.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do to release that, whether it's your therapy, talk to your God, whatever it is, and let's be family again. Life is short. Seriously. Let's make these days matter. I'm so big for that. I'm that person who just want to do family gatherings all the time and, host, people over and whatnot. Even if they don't want that. I still.
I know, I love that you're like that.
And some people like that.
Because I'm not like that. I love like just watching you talk about that. Because it's really true. Like you really are like that. And I
forget because when you forgive, you forget.
I be forgetting.
And
I don't forget.
Sometimes I'm reminded, what about what she did so? It's like, oh, that was a long time ago. It's like, I'm in the moment. This is how I'm feeling right now, so let's do this.
God bless where she is, but I am not. I will never forget I will never forget what you did. I won't. I'll forgive you. I'm a woman of God. I walk with the Lord. I know that forgiveness is available, and we are required to forgive, but I don't forget. And so I love that you do forget. Because I be reminding her. I'd be like, girl, you gonna call her? And last time you called her, she hung up on you. You finna call her.
I say, hey.
She does. Oh, she actually.
It's that's like why I'm start, fresh start.
No, she is. Over. Like, and then she'll call me like, oh yeah, she hung up on me again. Yeah, and I'd be like, girl, how many times you gonna call her? She don't want to talk to you. So I admire that you are like that, and what she's saying is really the actual. Really how you are. And I think, and I love that you just, what am I trying to say? I love that you value family so much that you will go through great lengths to restore and make, family connection available. So I love that. And I hope to be at that point, at some point in my life. So I love that. And I truly admire that about you.
Well, thank you. And it's with friendships too, reaching out to people I haven't talked to in a long time. Hey girl, hey, trying to visit somebody when I come into town.
Yeah, you be
know,
pushing
I'm
your way
trying to
through.
put a
Okay, let's
list
not
together.
go too much into this.
Right,
More
right.
But she do. She literally will like show up she's shown up at a friend that she hadn't talked to in years. She showed up at her door with some flowers, like, hey. And I'm like, girl, you ain't talked to that girl. You finna go over that girl house. She is. And like I said, I'm truly inspired by it. Because it challenges me and it charges me to say, if my mother can be like this to people who, you know, slap you on the, what's the Bible say? Slap you on the cheek, and then you turn the head and they slap the other cheek. If my mother can embody that, I need to embody that. I need to the best of my ability of where I am today, be a reflection of Christ in that way. Because he forgives us every time, every time. So once we understand how often he has to forgive us, we can say, okay, I can extend this, to others. So I love that.
So enough about me. Britt, share with us what your experience has been like being a mother.
So that's a very loaded question, but I feel like my experience as a mother, although very fulfilling and just so beautiful, it's been very complex for me. So I was not like you in the sense of like, I couldn't wait to be a mom. Like there are women who like can't wait to be a mom, can't wait to be a wife. I couldn't wait to be a millionaire. I could not wait to be a businesswoman. Like that was my, identity, as you will, growing up. And so when I became a mother and a wife at such a young age, it was complex for me because it was like, well, how do I fit? I love this child. I love Bailey. She's just like everything that I could have ever wanted in a daughter. But how do I fit this new version of me and this new requirements of me now and responsibility of me? How do I fit that into who I'm trying to become and who I feel like God has called me to become? So it was very and has been just a very complex journey of unlearning a lot of things that I saw, just growing up, to making space for this new identity that I didn't necessarily know that I wanted until it came, and walking in this purposeful journey of becoming, this business owner that I feel like God has called me into. So it has been very layered. I think it's just a challenge. I think it's a challenge for women in general to have our identity be attached to so many things and want so many different things out of life, to be so multifaceted and have all these desires and aspirations and trying to fill all these things. Motherhood is demanding. It is nonstop. It is so joyous and so beautiful, and I wouldn't have it any other way, but it requires constant serving, constant showing up. And I think if you don't communicate those expectations and communicate, this role of you being a woman first and then I'm your mom, I think if that's not communicated, it can be very tricky. And I think that that's part of what Bumble and Bloom kind of birthed from, is showing the girls, I'm a person first and then I'm your mom, and so if I just gave my all for a 12-hour day working or fulfilling certain duties that I feel led to do, and I come home and maybe I'm not like so perky, or I'm not like, oh my God, how was your day? What happened at school? Like, look at me as a woman first, as a person first, and allow me and hold space for me and allow me to show up the best that I can in the best ways that, I feel able, to do in that moment. So I think I've always just showed my daughters and my son the human side of me first, before it's like this pillar of like, I am your mother. Like, I am just Brittany. Like I don't have it. Like I don't have it today. Like I don't have it to give today. But tomorrow, let's try it again. Like for now, let's cuddle, let's watch a movie, let's cozy up, decompress, and then tomorrow let's get back into the things that we need. So I think being honest about that, and that we are not superwoman. We can only do so much. Our capacity can only reach certain lengths. And if they can understand why you're doing some of the things that you're doing, it allows them to give you more grace too, which was another reason why I kind of introduced them to the idea of, you know, entrepreneurship. Because it's like, if I bring you into this world and you see what it requires, you can have more grace for me too, you know, and they do. They're like, you know, they understand when we do those pop-ups. They get in the car, don't talk to me. I can't talk right now. I've been talking the whole time. Like, all these customers were asking us questions and taking photos, which we love the support and we're so fulfilled by that. But I don't have anything left to give. My social battery is done. So when we get in the car, it's silence. So I think, you know, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful that I have had the opportunity to bring them into my entrepreneurship journey through Bumble and Bloom, because it shows them why mommy, you know, has what she has when she has it, you know, and I think it makes them appreciate me a little bit more too. Like,
that's huge. That's huge to get them involved, hands-on, so they can actually see and feel, you know, everything it takes to get into that, opposed to what we are automatically taught as children. You go to school, you get the education. Let them know there are other options that you have with your life. You know, you don't have to just go to school and go to college and work for corporate. You can be a business owner. They don't teach us that in school, to be a business owner. So I applaud Brittany for, you know, creating her businesses and letting her children be a part of that, so they can know what it takes, and then they can see the capacity that she has when she get home because of what she did all day, you know, for the family. It all stems back to the family. Yeah, the family is definitely at the core. And they would appreciate her more because they see it, you know, because they experience that. She have them at the spa, you know, often, and they can see what it takes, you know, the moment by moment in the spa. And then they can sympathize with her by the time her day has ended and say, Mama must be tired. She wore out. Mama must be tired.
She is wore out. But okay, I will say this. I will say that so when I'm at work, I compartmentalize my life. I don't know if this is right or wrong. Y'all do what y'all want. But for me, I have to put on my hat. So when I'm at work, I am at work, truly, you know. When I'm at home, I don't have my phone. Mom be like, I've been calling you. I ain't got that phone. I ain't seen that phone in hours. Like, I'm with the kids. I'm with my family. Like, so wherever I'm at, wherever my feet are, that is where I'm planted. So I am very intentional about wherever I'm at, that's where I'm at. You know, even with my friendships, with my friends and with my friends, this is my girl time. I'm locked in. I'm not on my phone. I'm not, you know, we are right here. So it is, I don't want to use the word balance, but I want to use the word harmony. It is a very harmonious flow in my life because I'm very present whatever I'm doing. So,
and I just want to throw in too, knowing Britt's life, you know, being a business owner, showing respect by, like, I know what her week looks like. Britt fits everything in, first of all, everything. She's at everybody's events, she's working, she's doing so much, she wears so many hats. And when Saturday and Sunday come, you know, I try not to call her those days, because Saturday she's gonna spend time with her family. When she gets off work early, that's the day she gets off early. And Sunday is like church day, family day. So we have our conversations, you know, during the weekday. I know Monday through Wednesday I can call her, we can be on the phone all day. All day we can be on the phone. So it's just like she said, about harmony. You know, it used to be about balance. Well, maybe if you can say balance and harmony together. You know,
I love this conversation. It's so fruitful, and so many different conversations can stem from this one conversation. But it also just kind of highlights the community side of Bumble and Bloom. So we have our products that we hand make together in our kitchen, and we have this bonding moment. Sometimes it feels like bonding. Sometimes it feels like I'm sick of these butters, but nonetheless, we are together. And so we have the product side of things, but we also have the community side of things, where it's conversations like this, real vulnerable conversations about mother and daughters. We have workshops. So we just hosted 3 different workshops already this year. And we talked about mother and daughter relationships, talked about hygiene, wellness, what that looks like for ages 11 to 16. We have a summer camp coming up, y'all. So we're launching our first Bumble and Bloom summer camp in partnership with Wayne State C2 Pipeline.
Awesome.
So that's happening in July. And so we'll be talking about the beauty world and entrepreneurship and how to create your own product and how to turn your passion into your career.
That's
and so we have
amazing.
all of these different layers of Bumble and Bloom,
That's
which I
amazing.
love. But I want to give an opportunity and space for you all to contribute to this conversation. We talked about a lot of different things. And so what are some things or topics that you want to talk about? And maybe do we need to take this on a road? Like, do we need to go to Georgia, set up?
Georgia.
Like,
Yes,
do we need to do a tour?
Yes.
What are some things and conversations that you're looking to hear more of? Because this is a collaborative effort. This is not just me and my mom. This is not just me and my daughters. This is us in the sense of us women, mother and daughter community, healing, growing, blooming together. And so you are a part of that. And so if you would just send us a comment or email and just share, your thoughts from our conversation today, some things that you want to see more, some workshops, some interactive things. What do you want to see from Bumble and Bloom in the very near future? Because the work that we have done and the work that God is continuing to do in us, I feel like it's just getting started. We are just scratching the surface of the work that we're doing. And I'm so excited for what's in store.